Today I'm going to be doing a front brake pad change on a Nissan Primera 2008. As you can see, this through the alloy wheel, there's a gap there. You can see the brake pads. The front brake pads have been told been making a squealing noise. I had a look, and as you can see in there, worn down quite a bit. So I'm going to take the tyre off and get access to the pads. Tyre off, you now have access to the caliper. It's held on by two 12mm bolts, so undo the top one a tad, just nice and loose, and undo the bottom one fully and take it out so you can swing the caliper up. Undoing the bolts on this on the brake calipers are a bit confusing, especially if it's your first time doing it, because you actually have to tighten it to loosen it. So you have to act like you're tightening it, so you put your 12mm spanner on there and you have to turn it clockwise to loosen it. Sometimes it's tight, so get a hammer while it's in that position and just give it a few hits just to crack it loose. So yeah, as you can see down here, I've taken out the bolt and the top one is still in. The reason I've done this is simply because it allows me to swing at the caliper and not have to tie the caliper onto the springs or anything like that. You don't want to lose that 12mm bolt, because obviously you're going to be stranded and you won't be able to put your brakes back on fully. So yeah, now once you've swung up the caliper, you take off the outer brake pad, and as you can see, it's worn down quite a bit. And the inner one as well, if they're a bit stuck, you might have to get a little screwdriver and prise it out. But yeah, take them off and then put them to one side. So yeah, first thing I always do is match up the pads, because obviously you don't want the wrong ones on, or you end up forcing pads that ain't made for your car into your bracket and end up damaging the pads and you can't take them back. So yeah, match them up. Once that's done, put a bit of grease in there. The owner asked not to have grease on there for some reason, so that was cool. And then just put them back in the same way you took the old ones out. So as you can see, I've managed to put the outer and the inner pad in nice and snug, no rattling, they're in there nice and snug. So now let's push the piston back in. So now to get the piston back in, I use a G-clamp and a bit of wood. So I put the wood in front of the piston there, and I just start twisting on the G-clamp just to provide the pressure and push it back in easy. So here you can see I've managed to push the piston back. It's nice and flat, so that's the sort of position that you want it in. And then now the caliper just swings over and it's in place. It might need a little persuasion just to go over to the pads, obviously, because they're nice and meaty now. But once that's gone in, make sure it's on nice and tight, nice and in position. You put your 12mm bolt back through into the slide pins. Make sure, remember, you're going anti-clockwise to tighten. It's very important to make sure they're on nice and tight. Once that's done, you obviously check the brake fluid in the reservoir and then stick the tyre back on. Job done. Easy. Subscribe, share and like, and I hope to see you soon.